everybody, Professor O here at Professor O What Do You Know? Today we're going to be going over how to don a pair of sterile gloves. So the first thing you need to do before you get yourself a package of sterile gloves is know what size your hand is. Each package of gloves are numbered, usually from about 6 up until size 9. So you need to measure your hand, make sure you know what it is. I'm a 7, so I'm going to be donning a size 7 glove today. Donning means putting on, doffing means taking off. So when we don sterile gloves, we need to make sure that we keep our gloves sterile and that we do the procedure correctly. We don't want to ever contaminate our glove. The gloves come in a package. You want to make sure your package is completely intact, that you don't see any kind of compromise in the packaging. You also want to look for the expiration date on your glove package and make sure that your gloves are not expired. Once you have those two things done, you're going to go ahead and find the area of the gloves that you need to open up from, and you're just going to go ahead and peel that area open. Once you get your gloves peeled open, you're going to very carefully take the package of sterile gloves that are inside out. So I'm peeling these open from the top, and then I just want to go ahead and pluck out my sterile gloves from inside. When you take the sterile gloves out, you want to lay them down on your surface area like a book. They should open up the way a book would open up. You want to see the number of your glove facing you, and you want to, like I said, have it shaped like a book. So once you go ahead and do that, you're going to open up the package like a book. When you do that, you're going to see each side are labeled, right and left hand. So the first thing you want to do is notice that the packaging is folded at the tops and the bottoms of the sterile glove package. So you want to go ahead and open up the top outside of the gloves and the bottom outside of the gloves. You don't want to be touching anything on the inside, but you're just taking those folds off, so it's easier when you go ahead and open up your package. The other thing you need to remember is with any sterile field, whether it's your sterile glove packet or any other sterile item that you might be opening, the inside 1-inch border is considered unsterile. Everything else is considered sterile, so you need to just be careful of that. So once you have the top and the bottom flaps open, you want to grasp the inner flaps, okay? This is in the center on the right and left side. You're going to open those inner flaps, and you just want to pull it a little bit tight so that they don't fall back on each other, only doing it at the very outer edge. Once you have the gloves open, you're going to notice that both gloves are cuffed. The cuffs are inside out. So if you're a righty, that's considered your dominant hand. If you're a lefty, that's considered your dominant hand. You want to grab the glove with your non-dominant hand that you're going to be putting onto your dominant hand. So again, I'm a righty, so I'm going to use my non-dominant left hand. I'm going to pinch the bottom of the cuff of the dominant hand glove, and that part of the cuff, remember, is inside out. So when I pinch that cuff, I'm not touching anything that's going to be sterile. That cuff is going to roll back over onto my wrist. I'm going to go ahead now and slide my dominant hand into the sterile glove, okay? And that's all I'm going to do is just leave it like that. Now I'm going to take my dominant hand and I'm going to go ahead and scoop into the cuff of the non-dominant glove. I'm going to use just my 3 fingers. I'm going to keep my thumb on the outside, and I want to get on underneath the cuff of the non-dominant glove. This gets a little tricky because sometimes the packaging starts to move or the glove might be sticking to the packaging. So you just have to make sure you have good control. You don't let that package get away. You don't touch any other part of the glove but underneath the cuff. And once you're under that cuff, with your thumb far away from your hand that's coming into the glove, you want to go ahead now and slide that non-dominant hand into the glove, okay? You're going to be pulling that cuff until all your fingers are in, down over your wrist. Once your hands are in the gloves, you can touch finger to finger, right? This is both sterile now. You can touch sterile to sterile. One mistake that I notice a lot in fundamentals with students when they're doing a sterile procedure is that once they have their gloves on and they're ready to begin their sterile procedure, they go right to the package and decide to pick up this package to throw it in the garbage. Now we know that the second we pick up the package with our sterile gloves on the outside of the package, we are no longer sterile. We've contaminated our gloves. So I try and remind students over and over again to please make sure that when you don your sterile gloves, you don't start touching the outer edges of anything that's not sterile. We like to keep our hands up and away from us. Sometimes we keep them folded in front of us, But however we're going to ensure that we keep our hands sterile, we want to make sure that we're not touching anything. And as far as the packaging is concerned, it can wait to be thrown out at the end of the procedure when you're no longer sterile. Okay, so that is donning sterile gloves. When you want to take your sterile gloves off and you want to doff your sterile gloves, you're going to now pinch the inside of your non-dominant hand, and you're going to let the glove turn inside out. You're going to crumple the glove into your dominant hand and then take your thumb and go under the cuff of your dominant hand and roll them inside out. Once they're rolled inside out and they're off, you can then go ahead and hand hygiene. You can throw away all of the packaging, and your procedure is over. All right, that's donning and doffing sterile gloves on Professor O, What Do You Know? Please leave a comment, like my channel. If you have any questions, again, leave them in the comments and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thank you.